Companion.
Man.
Listen. A lot of good things and a lot of bad things.
The days of you controlling me are over.
This movie is overshadowed by the giant fucking hammer of toxic masculinity. You fucking incel. Just beats you over the head with it.
Yeah, although the first two acts, yeah, it's there, but the third act is where it really drives the messaging home.
I automatically knew where it was going once it started. It just started pissing me off.
Yeah.
Is the plot good? Yes. Is the chain of events that unfold clever? Absolutely. There's some really good storytelling in this, good twists and turns.
Not like mind-blowing twists,
No.
but like just little subtle, in-the-moment twists that you're like, oh, that was pretty good.
It's like fun.
Yeah.
It's like a fun, like tongue-in-cheek social commentary.
It balanced the humor well with the thriller aspect.
Definitely.
Of it.
Yeah.
I would see a lot of people referring to this movie as like a horror movie, but like I wasn't looking at it like that at all.
No, in fact, the first trailer that came out made it seem like it was going to be more of a horror thriller or something.
More horror, but like the very first trailer made it seem like it was this fucked up relationship where like these two people are obsessed with each other and they're making each other do things.
Yes, but there seemed like there was like an extra element to it that was like a horror element.
Yeah, some kind of fucked up horror.
The marketing, to its credit, of this film was very good. They
Yeah.
didn't really tell you what it's about, even though you can kind of piece together.
There are a couple little things that give away the fact that she is like an AI robot.
Yes.
Especially if you look at the poster now, like
The
her eyes are
white,
just white
yeah.
and everything. Now, going in, it's just like knowing that all the little hints that they're dropping for the first like 20 minutes of the movie, you're kind of like, well, okay, we know she's a robot. So like that surprise didn't really land, but I thought that was going to be a bigger issue. It was kind of just a small thing. Like once the audience is let in on that, it's like, okay, now we can focus on like the rest of the story and like where the real twists and turns come, because there's plenty more that come after that like I didn't see coming, and I was like, okay, it's clever.
Yeah.
It's got its clever moments, but then it starts to grate on you with that social commentary. Toxic relationships.
Well, I mean,
Toxic masculinity specifically.
Yes, it's not even toxic relationships because it's definitely one-sided. It's just men
100%.
Men are pieces of shit. That's what this whole thing is about.
Okay, so they
unless you're gay and then like you're a fucking saint.
Then the relationships are perfect. Like the girl in the movie, like the human cat, she talks about her relationship with Sergey.
Yeah.
As she's just like his fuck toy, basically.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, but he's got money, so like I put up with it until he discovers that Iris is actually one of those companion bots.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I'll just have my way with her too.
Well, and it's funny too because when she's listing off all the reasons why this guy's a piece of shit, of course, one of them is he's a misogynist.
Yeah,
and it's like,
obviously.
well, once you name that, it puts everything into perspective.
Right.
This guy is not, like, there is no coming back for this guy. He's just an absolute piece of shit.
Right, especially the scene that unfolds on the beach, which happens before you realize that she's a companion robot. So like knowing that, like going in, you're like, okay, well, he's making little references where he's like, no, you're supposed to be like okay with this. So it totally changes the dynamic. Like, obviously, like from her perspective, because she doesn't know she's a robot, and that's like a reveal later, she thinks she's like in danger for her life. From that perspective, like, yeah, like she's defending herself, right? And this guy's like genuinely shocked when a knife ends up in his neck.
I'm shocked.
He thinks he should just be able to do this and she won't be able to put up a fight. But she does because of some fucking with her programming that comes out in another reveal. But getting into the plot, it's set up very simply as this couple, Josh and Iris. They seem like this happy couple. They start the movie with their fun little meet
They're
cute.
cute, showing,
Yeah, they're spending like a weekend at this really fancy cabin in the woods.
Hundreds of miles away
from civilization with a few other friends, this rich like Russian guy, and that's when shit kind of goes off the rails when the Russian guy attacks Iris and she ends up killing him. And then everybody freaks out, and that's when all like the reveals and the twists and turns start coming.
We find out that Iris is a robot.
Yes.
So she gets that information dump on her, and then you find out that Josh has been planning this all along so they
Yeah.
can kill the Russian guy.
He modded her.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So she would end up killing the Russian guy, and he's got a safe, and inside the safe
It's all
is
set up like him and Kat set the whole thing up, and they're just gonna rob this guy, and then they let the gay guy in, and then you find out that the gay guy's dude is actually a companion as well.
All right.
They're not in on the whole plot. Iris now, she like escapes and she like runs off into the woods
with Josh's phone.
with Josh's phone,
So
which is how
has-
he controls her.
Yes.
Which was I thought that was pretty cool. That was clever, but they didn't really take it as far as they could have in that sequence.
No, they didn't. You think that they're going to have fun with it? They kind of do, just like
A little bit.
Like
she fucks with her
gimmick-wise,
eye color and like
yeah.
her voice
I was getting
modulation.
Total Recall flashbacks where
Yeah.
the receptionist changes her
Yeah,
fingernail
yeah,
colors.
yeah.
But yeah, they just don't go far enough with it. And a little side tangent right now, like she finds out that her intelligence setting is on 40%.
Yeah.
Which was fucking hilarious. And then she changes it to 100%. And in
Yeah,
that moment,
like her eyes
dilate,
Yeah.
and then like the world just blooms, and it's like you think that she's just gonna gather all this information. You think she's gonna be like fucking Lucy or something, you know, that Scarlett Johansson movie or
but
something.
she doesn't really do
she doesn't
anything
really
after
do
that.
anything. So then I'm
Yeah.
like, is that like the filmmakers just like saying that like like their intelligence like
This is not what they're saying, but this is what we thought.
this way like tops out at an IQ of 100 and that's it.
That's some cold shit.
Because she really wasn't that smart.
Right, she just like runs up on a hill looking out, and she like runs through a couple scenarios in her mind, like if I do this will happen. If I do this will happen. It's like, okay, you're just running through the obvious scenarios.
Yeah, but
and like
the funny thing is like when she actually followed through on one of those scenarios, it didn't even happen the way she thought it would.
no, she gets back to the car, and then she realizes like the voice command won't start the car. And she's like,
and
oh,
why
shit.
didn't you anticipate that? You don't need a fucking 100 IQ to know that you're going to need the
Or like-
voice command to start the car. Yeah, by the way, this movie takes place like slightly in the future, I guess.
Yeah, like very slight. Yeah.
Yeah.
She gets to the car. She escapes. That's when like the cop shows up. I mean, it was clever how she like set her language to German, so he couldn't understand her because she can't tell a lie. That's like one of the parameters of her programming. And now that the gay guy's dead, Josh reprograms the other companion to
The
just
gay
be
companion.
like the gay companion to basically be in love with him and just be a fucking Terminator.
Yeah, he turns up his aggression to 100%.
100 and like removes all of his like parameters, like not to hurt people, whatever.
Right.
And he just sends him after her, and he beats that fucking cop to death, which is
Yeah,
like,
caves in his face with his
oh my
fist.
god, yeah. And that was a pretty good scene. They get her back. He's got full control of her again. He's got the phone back and everything. He dials her intelligence down to 0 and shit. And at this point, you're like, okay, he's just toying with her now, and it's like, all right, don't start making these stupid mistakes. That's where like the third act kind of falls apart a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Because it was pretty clever up to that point. Nothing was like dragging. The pacing was good.
It-
but
it
then
was-
the third act
Yeah.
kind of...
It was clever within the parameters of its setup.
Yeah, exactly.
Of its plot.
Yeah, but then he got a little sadistic at the end.
Well, yeah, he's got to have his like grandstanding monologues, and it's just basically like the lib's idea of an incel. Like that's what he is. You
There
know what
it
I
is
mean?
again, yeah.
Fuck, dude, stop with these God, holy shit, we're not in fucking 1933 anymore. Like it's not like that. Are there asshole guys out there? Yes. But this movie makes it sound like every single straight white male is
Yeah.
this fucking incel pathetic motherfucker.
Yeah, they're just pissed off that they live in a one-bedroom apartment and the world owes them something,
Yeah.
and they're just not getting it. And
That's a line he says. The world owes me, or something to that effect. And it's like, even if you actually thought that, that would never leave your mouth. Like you would never say that. You know, that's so stupid. On the
right,
nose.
because up to that point, they're just alluding to a lot of that shit. But then, like when they're at that dinner table scene, and you don't need to spell it out like this. Like, yes, we get the messaging behind the movie, but now your characters are literally just coming out and saying it. And then she's like coming right back at him, like pointing out his good qualities, and then descends right into the fact that he's got like a small penis too.
I got a little dick. It's pathetic.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like really hammering it home.
Yeah, just like he's the most pathetic asshole ever. And like earlier in the film, like when like he nails her, and like he's a terrible lay. He's like done in like
He's like,
10
"Oh," and he
seconds.
flops over.
Yeah. So then you just think about things that happened prior, and it's like, yeah, this guy is just so pathetic.
Yeah.
And like again, it's their idea of just like the modern day.
Right. And it's funny too in
male.
that scene, like when he rolls over and he's like, "Okay, go to bed." Like,
Yeah.
and she's trying to have this like deeper conversation with him. He's like, "Shut up, go to sleep." You're like, all right, he's being kind of a dick in this moment where he's been kind of normal up to this point because you're not really supposed to know that she's like a robot at this point. But knowing that she is, yeah, okay, that this is your purpose. Now he wants her to just shut up so he can go to bed.
Babe, you know I don't like to be touched after, okay?
The way she's treated, like if she were human, right? You'd be like, okay, yes, he's treating her like it's the fucking 1930s, whatever. She's just like, you are second to me. You belong down here. I'm up here. But then you've got like the whole other level of it because she's just a robot. So then you get into like the whole like tech side of it, the whole AI side of it.
There's the tech side of it, and there's like also that phenomenon where there's like the stereotype that all these incels on the internet are ordering these like sex dolls from like China or something.
Right.
And so they've got their just like sex doll at their house that, you know, they put them in whatever outfits they want to put them in. They don't talk, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like commentary on that, you know what I mean? But again, it's just that like the left's idea of like these pathetic guys who just are not fucking feminist allies.
She gets like picked up by the people that created her at the end. He doesn't realize that everything that she has seen over their time together has been recorded and it's on like a hard drive in her stomach.
And that's what's kind of annoying about this movie because, yes, we just said that it's clever, but there's also some dumb shit in it.
Yeah.
It's like, why wouldn't he expect that? Like, even if you don't know that, I would just automatically
he thinks just
assume.
a bullet through her head is just going to like take care of everything. And it's like, do you know the inner workings?
But he was
of
also
this?
just surprised by the fact that she was recording everything in general.
Yeah, like he never read the thing he signed. But
But like, even if you didn't, I would just assume that that's the case. Like, you would there's just things where it's like, well, yeah, no shit.
Well, no shit.
Right.
You know, of course it's recording everything.
Right, yeah.
These people have to watch their asses.
Yeah.
And not only that, like, you know, he's trying to get away with all of this stuff, but I guarantee you that she has some sort of like internal, like almost like black box or something.
Right.
Showing like all of her navigation points so that like later on they can ask, well, why was she here like during this time?
She
like
can obviously access like GPS or
Yeah,
like she like
exactly.
she's connected somehow. She can immediately like tell you what the weather is. I mean, she's got to be pulling that information from somewhere, right?
So, exactly. So again, like even though he's trying to pull off this like robbery and like this murder cover up, could you really do it? I don't think so. Just because of how advanced the technology is, you just wouldn't be able to get away with it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he tries and he almost gets away with it. But then through the circumstances of that final scene, like she gets like rebooted and then gets all of her parameters just eliminated. So she's basically just like a person now with free will. And she goes back and confronts him.
You almost shot me!
I feel terrible about it.
She just has that very on-the-nose dialogue, like, I'm free now, you can't control me. And it's yeah, we get it. You're like, independent woman, like, we get it. You know, like, you don't have to spell it out. You can still tell this story and be very subtle with the messaging and still get the same idea across.
Exactly. It's just hammered over the head way too fucking much.
Yeah.
You guys just need to chill. And like most of these like lefty things that they bitch about, it's a non-issue. Again, not all, and there are some douchebags out there, of course. And why are these fucking chicks dating those douchebags? Why can't they tell they're fucking douchebags in the very beginning? Victim blaming. That's a whole other fucking topic. That being said, though, most men are not like that. I don't know anyone that's like this dude. Yeah. If I ever met a guy like that, I'd probably think he was a fucking weirdo. And
right, think he was an asshole.
Yeah,
like,
and I wouldn't be friends with him.
Why would I be friends with this guy if he treats women like this?
If I'm like that, why can't a chick think the same thing?
It's hard to talk about this movie without talking about this stuff. We usually save this stuff for the end.
Oh no, we're basically getting our rainbow score.
Right. We're bringing a lot
out
of
of the way right now.
We're bringing a lot of this in because it's very tied to the DNA of this film.
It is, unfortunately. Yeah, he's got dialogue in the beginning where it's like, you know, you should smile.
Remember to smile and act happy.
Is that really a thing that like misogynist guys tell women that they should smile? I always hear that's a thing because
I see it all over the place in movies
I'm
and
constantly
shows.
being told like that from television and fucking Netflix. But is that
Guys telling women to smile all the time?
Yeah, but does that really happen? I don't see it. You know, of course, like they show up to this house and like they got their gay couple friend and they're just so open and welcome and like no one says anything and like, wow, it's just so progressive you guys are.
Well, they have their
fucking stupid.
They have their scene in the woods where you get what their relationship is like.
You see their meet cute.
Because then they twist it so when Josh connects with Patrick, it's like the same meet cute, but now it's with him. But like that moment was like showing like, oh, here's what like real love looks like in a relationship like this between the two of them.
Yes.
Versus like how Josh and Iris's was set up.
Yeah.
So it was set up where it's just like, yeah, like the gay couple, they're the ones with the real, like solid connection.
Whatever their feelings towards each other is pure.
Yes, that's the pure stuff.
Yes, but of course.
But with Josh, he was
just
purely in it to just.
He was just a control freak, misogynist that just wanted to like.
Incel who just lived in that one bedroom apartment. You know. That wasn't a bad looking apartment. I know a lot of people in New York who would kill with an apartment like that.
It seemed all right to me.
And they're not fucking like going out there running their mouth that the world owes them something.
Yeah, they just again turn him into this entitled, sociopathic
entitled,
incel.
Whiny little white dude bitch.
Yeah, and hey, the casting was spot on for him. So.
Listen, Jack Quaid nailed it.
He did. I mean, I like the guy. Don't get me wrong. Even though his politics are probably fucking retarded in real life, but still, I like the guy.
Yeah, he's got good charisma. He's likable.
He is. That being said, though, he does kind of fit the physical build of like the lefty version of like a beta cucked incel. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you're reading the script to that movie, at some point he had to have stopped and been like, why do they want me for this?
Why do they want me for this?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
What is it about me that says I'm this character, you know?
Thatcher, I thought she was excellent.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
Role. She was fantastic. She was a big standout.
Yeah, she's very good. You got like a Blade Runner, right, where Rachel, she's like discovering that she's really a replicant.
Yeah.
And like there's that whole philosophical angle to that film.
Yeah.
This movie basically tackles with that same thing, like having implanted memories and that's what makes you human.
Yeah, no, it definitely...
But it doesn't go down that philosophical route, though.
No, it's the movie plays with a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
Which I liked. It chose to just go deeper on some and not others. But it did introduce a lot.
It goes deeper on the social commentary aspect and not as much on the philosophy angle.
Right, because that scene where he's telling her that she's like not real and she's like coming to grasp with that, and he's like showing her proof like right in front of her, and she's still not like believing it.
Not every movie has to be Blade Runner. You know what I mean? And so if they tackle the same subject matter but with a different tone, I'm totally cool with that. And I do think that they did that pretty well.
No, the tone was solid.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and that scene at the end where like she's in the shower and she's like ripping her hand over, like Terminator.
Yeah.
And she's got like the hand. It's like that was kind of cool. Like just seeing that, like actually seeing what she looks like underneath.
Yeah.
And you're thinking like, oh, she's gonna put like a glove on or something. She just left it out.
Yeah.
She's driving at the end, looking over like the dude in the car at the end, when she's looking. And
she of course runs into another toxic white male.
Yeah, right. Who's just like
grilling
in the background, grilling his girl. And
yeah.
She's just looking like out the window, like, help me, I'm not free. Break up with that asshole.
You think you're this good guy and you're not.
Ranking wise, what are you thinking?
I don't know. I feel like I like this less than you did.
I actually enjoyed it quite a bit.
It bothered me way too much. You keep saying that like it didn't really come in like Jack Quaid's like.
Well, that's when it like really spilled out like into the foreground.
Yeah, it does. But like I still think that there's so much of it there that's setting it up early on, and like it was just bothering me like from the get-go.
Yeah.
As soon as they get to the cabin, I'm like, oh fuck, like this is annoying. And as soon as he busted his nut, like after 30 seconds, or the scene starts and he's busting his nut.
Yeah.
And then the way he treats her when he's like wanting to go to bed, I'm like, okay, here we go. Fuck, this is so
Can't
so
root
stupid.
for this guy now.
Yeah, and then of course it just tumbles down that fucking rabbit hole of.
Well, I think like if that third act hadn't been so on the nose and successfully kept everything they were trying to say still kind of a little in the middle / background, I think it would have worked a lot better.
I just think that you could have made the same movie but just made it more subtle, you know?
No, I agree with that.
I would have still disagreed with the messaging, and I would have been like, yeah, it's bullshit. But you know what? They didn't like hammer this over your head, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Things that we're always fair about, I think.
Yeah.
But the subtlety was just not there. Anyways, I'm going to give this movie a 5.5.
Okay. Shit.
I didn't like it. Like, it fucking bothered me.
I went 7 out of 10.
Holy shit.
I actually
That's like
liked
the
it a lot.
biggest discrepancy I think that we've ever had.
1.5 range discrepancy. We've got the other scale for that stuff. And in terms of like the movie as a whole, like, yeah, all that shit's there, but I still really enjoyed the plot and the subtle twists and turns and the pacing, and I thought it was shot, it was well acted. Like,
it was.
It's crafted well.
Yeah, and
so I wanted to give props for that.
Admittingly, it is. But that being said, like, it is clever in some areas, but then it is stupid in other areas.
It's true. It's true.
And so that started bothering me too.
Yeah.
So then, social commentary, Jack Quaid,
right,
and then that shit, just like all.
Well, that's why we have the other scale. we discussed just about everything that
Yes.
popped up for that. So I don't know. Like I went pretty high.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, I went 4 out of 5.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I was going to go
Okay,
with.
yeah, 4
absolutely.
out of 5 rainbows on that one.
Yeah, borderline 4.5. But
yeah.
probably 4 out of 5.
Despite all that, though, like I still did enjoy it a lot. Once it was like hitting me, I was just like, I know what they're trying to say. I'm just gonna push that aside and just see where this goes.
I don't know. I feel like the more you think about it in the next few days, it might bother you.
That's true. I mean,
It's certainly gonna bother
we did just
me.
see it, and we came right here to record.
Yeah.
But I'll probably watch it again.
It's already pissing me off. I don't know if I'm going to watch it again. It's fucking annoying.
Because the girl, she gets him in the end.
It's like the ending to Ex Machina, which is cool.
Yeah, yes.
You know, that did it right, though.
Right, that did it right because he wasn't just some scumbag. He was actually genuinely trying to help her.
Right. And she
Like-
used his simp nature against him.
Right. She lured him in.
Yeah.
She duped his ass.
Right.
That movie has such a frustrating ending.
Frustrating but awesome ending.
Awesome, awesome ending.
Yeah. I don't know. Bobby says go see it. I say fucking wait. I didn't like it.